You've done therapy, EMDR, somatic work, IFS, breath work, yoga teacher trainings, energy healing certifications. You've done all the things and you're still exhausted. You're starting to think that you're the problem, that you're too sensitive or broken maybe, or maybe that you're just not cut out for this. Well, here's the truth that nobody in the wellness industry wants you to know. The system wasn't designed for people like you. And that's not your failure. It's the system's limitation. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why one-size-fits-all healing systems fail sensitive healers, what makes your burnout different, and what actually works when you're wired to feel everything. You're the person who feels too much, who picks up on energy in rooms, who carries other people's emotions in your body without trying to. You've been told that you're too sensitive your whole life. So you became a healer or health practitioner because your sensitivity felt like a calling, but now it's slowly wearing you down. And every healing modality you try feels like it was designed for someone less permeable, less affected, less overwhelmed than you are. I'm Dr. Oscar Perez, the Soul Recovery Specialist. I work specifically with natural-born healers who are highly sensitive and empathic. And I can tell you, if you're a sensitive healer who hasn't healed inside conventional systems, it's not because you're doing it wrong. It's because those systems are designed for people with different nervous systems than yours. I'm going to show you the 5 reasons that one-size-fits-all systems fail sensitive healers and what you actually need instead. The first thing is that your nervous system is wired differently, not defectively. Highly sensitive people, or HSPs, have different neurological wiring, more active mirror neurons, deeper processing, heightened sensory awareness. And this isn't a disorder. It's a different operating system. Most healing modalities assume normal nervous system reactivity, but your system responds to stimuli more intensely, processes more deeply, and needs different recovery protocols. Standard healing approaches either overstimulate you or don't actually address the needs that you have beneath the surface. Here's what you need to understand. You're not too sensitive, you're differently sensitive. And that requires different support and a different language to understand it. Every sensitive healer I work with has tried mainstream approaches and felt like a failure. They're told to toughen up, to set better boundaries, or to not take things so personally, but their nervous system literally processes information differently. Telling them to be less sensitive is like telling someone with blue eyes to have brown eyes. It's not a choice. Imagine 2 radio receivers. One picks up the local station clearly. The other picks up 50 stations simultaneously. Local, distant, even frequencies that most receivers can't detect. The second receiver isn't broken, it's just more sensitive. But if you try to fix it using techniques designed for the first receiver, it's not going to work. That's you. Your nervous system picks up signals that others miss. You need different calibration, not more volume control. You need to stop trying to make yourself less sensitive. You need to start asking, what does my nervous system actually need to regulate? But it's not just your nervous system. There's something deeper that's happening. You're not just healing personal trauma, you're also carrying ancestral and collective pain. Sensitive healers don't just feel their own pain, they absorb pain from their environment, their clients, their lineage, and from the collective. We actually all do this, but sensitive healers do this at a much higher degree. Most healing modalities focus only on personal trauma resolution. But when you're carrying pain that isn't even yours, like ancestral grief or client activation or collective suffering, no amount of personal processing will resolve that collective pain. You need practices that acknowledge and release what you're carrying that doesn't belong to you. You're not failing at healing. You're trying to heal personal trauma while carrying everyone else's pain, everyone else's stuff. Sensitive healers tell me constantly that They've processed their childhood, their relationships, their wounds, and they still feel heavy. That's because they're carrying more than their personal stuff, than their personal trauma. They're walking around with their grandmother's unprocessed grief, with their client's anxiety, with the collective weight of a suffering world. Personal therapy alone can't address that. Imagine trying to clean your house while everyone in the neighborhood keeps dumping their trash on your lawn. You can clean inside all day long, but the trash keeps piling up outside. Most healing modalities only address what's inside your house, and only the surface level of that. But for sensitive healers, the problem is also what's constantly being deposited on the outside and all of the cracks that haven't been addressed on the inside in the foundations. Does your pain feel bigger than what you've personally experienced? Does your sadness, anger, or fear feel older than your lifetime? That's collective and ancestral pain. That's not just personal trauma. And here's why the standard approaches can't touch this. Conventional modalities emphasize individual healing, but not relational or spiritual context for what you are carrying. Western healing modalities focus on the individual, on your trauma, your nervous system, your healing. But these deeper sensitive healers exist in deep relationship to ancestors, to the earth, to the spirit world, to the collective consciousness. Your burnout isn't just individual, it's relational and spiritual. You're disconnected from the web of relationships that sustain you. And individual therapy can't restore relational and spiritual belonging. You can't heal disconnection with more individualized treatment that continues to focus on disconnection. Every sensitive healer that I work with describes the same thing. They say, I feel alone, like I don't belong anywhere. They've done years of individual therapy, but they're still isolated. That's because their healing isn't just about processing personal wounds. It's about restoring connection to something larger, to ancestral lineage, to the earth, to spirit, to community. Imagine a tree that's been uprooted. You can water the tree, fertilize it, prune it, but if it's not planted back in the ground and connected with the soil and the forest ecosystem, it won't truly thrive. Sensitive healers are like uprooted trees. Individual modalities keep treating the tree in isolation, but what you need is to be replanted, reconnected to the relational and spiritual ecology that sustains you. Ask yourself, do I feel isolated even after years of therapy? Does my healing feel like it's happening in a vacuum? Do I long for connection to something larger, something ancestral, to the earth, to spirit, but haven't found it in conventional modalities? If the answer is yes to all three, then you need relational and spiritual healing, not just individual treatment. Now, here's where it gets even more specific. If this is resonating, if you're finally seeing why nothing's worked, subscribe for more on healing designed for sensitive healers. Soul Recovery consultation in the description. Conventional systems pathologize your gifts as symptoms. Sensitivity, empathy, emotional permeability, these are treated as problems to fix in most systems. You're told that you have poor boundaries, that you're codependent, that you absorb too much. But what if these aren't necessarily deficits or they're being mislabeled? What if they're actually your gifts, just without proper training? Conventional systems try to make you feel less. They try to make you less permeable, less feeling, less connected. But what you need isn't to become less sensitive. It's to learn how to work with that sensitivity, how to attune it, and how to understand what to do with it. The wellness industry is trying to fix what was never broken. See, sensitive healers come to me having been told that they need better boundaries, more self-protection, less enmeshment. They've internalized the messages that their sensitivity is the problem, but their sensitivity is why they are effective to begin with. It's not the problem, it's the gift. The problem is that they were never taught how to hold it without being destroyed by it. Imagine someone with perfect pitch trying to function in a world designed for people with average hearing. They're overwhelmed by sounds that others don't notice. A conventional approach would give them earplugs, tell them to toughen up, or medicate them. But a better approach would teach them how to use their heightened hearing as an asset while also protecting themselves from the overwhelm. That's what sensitive healers need, not suppression, but skillful engagement. I want you to list the qualities that you've been told are too much or are problematic. Too sensitive, too empathic, feeling too deeply, care too much. Now ask, what if these are actually my gifts, just without proper training? So what do you actually need? Here's what changes everything. You need grounded, embodied, animist practices, not more cognitive processing. Sensitive healers don't need more thinking, analyzing, or processing. You need practices that ground you in your body and connect you to something stable, to something that increases your awareness of your relationality to earth, spirit, ancestors. This means embodied animism, practices that honor you as a part of a larger, living, interconnected web. It means grounding in the physical world, but not just in the mental or emotional. It means ritual, acknowledgement, and relationship, and not just insight. You don't need another modality. You need a different paradigm entirely. The sensitive healers who actually recover don't do it by adding more therapy or certifications. They do it by shifting from cognitive processing to embodied, relational, spiritual practice. They stop trying to fix themselves and start reconnecting to the earth, to their ancestors, to their body, to the spirit world. You need to specifically stop trying to fix your sensitivity through more individual therapy. You need to stop believing that you need better boundaries to be less affected. And you also have to stop chasing the next healing modality, hoping that this one will work. Instead, you have to start embodied practices that ground you in physical reality, earth contact, movement, breath. You need to start developing ancestral and spiritual practices that help to restore relational connection. You need to start treating your sensitivity as a gift that needs training, not a problem that needs fixing. Here is a specific practice that will help you begin this shift. Sensitive healers need practices that acknowledge their permeability while providing grounding and relational support. This embodied animist practice combines earth contact or grounding, ancestral acknowledgement or relational connection, and energetic release or discharge of what's not yours. This works because the earth provides physical stability for your nervous system needs. Ancestral connection reminds you that you are not alone. You're a part of a lineage. And the energetic release allows you to discharge collective pain that you've absorbed. It honors your sensitivity while protecting your vitality. Your sensitivity is like being a lightning rod. You naturally attract and conduct energy. That's your gift. But if you're not grounded, the lightning destroys you. It overwhelms you. Earth grounding is the wire that allows the energy to move through you without harming you. Ancestral connection is the reminder that others in your lineage have done this work before you. You're not the first. Together, they allow you to be sensitive and sustainable. Tonight, do this embodied animist practice for sensitive healers. The first phase is the grounding phase. So you're going to go outside and you're going to lie directly on the earth. Place your hands flat on the ground. Feel your body making full contact. Back, arms, legs, head. Say out loud, I am held by the earth. I am not alone. I am part of something ancient and stable. Breathe deeply and let gravity do the work. You don't have to carry it all on your own. Do that for about 5 minutes. For the next 3 minutes, you're going to connect with your ancestors. Still lying on the earth, place your left hand on your heart. Say, I call to my ancestors who were also sensitive, who also felt everything. Acknowledge them. Say, you walked this path before me. You know what this is like. Feel into that lineage of sensitive people behind you. You are not the only one. Next, you're going to place both hands on the earth and say, I release what is not mine to carry. I give back the pain that I've absorbed that doesn't belong to me. Visualize or feel the earth receiving it. The earth is big enough to hold it. Let your body shake, sigh, cry, or release however it wants. Stay grounded until your body naturally calms down and stills. Then sit up slowly, still touching the earth, and say, I honor my sensitivity. I protect my vitality. I belong to the earth and my lineage. And notice how you feel. Lighter, more present, less overwhelmed. This works because the earth contact grounds your overstimulated nervous system. The ancestral acknowledgement creates relational support. You're not doing this healing alone. And the release prevents you from storing collective pain in your body. This simple ritual honors your sensitivity as sacred and not shameful. And regular practice of this builds your capacity to be both sensitive and sustainable. Do this 3 to 4 times per week. Your nervous system will stabilize and your sensitivity will feel like a gift again. You're not too sensitive. You're not broken. You're not failing at healing. The systems that you've tried just weren't designed for people wired like you. Your sensitivity is real. It's powerful. And it's why you're called to do this work. But you need practices that honor your wiring in grounded, embodied, relational, and spiritual ways. You can be sensitive and still sustain it. You just need the right approach. Subscribe for more grounded, embodied practices designed specifically for highly sensitive healers. And if you're ready for deeper support in honoring your sensitivity while protecting your vitality, check the link in the description for a soul recovery consultation. Your sensitivity is a gift. It is something that your lineage has passed on to you because you are the one that has the capacity to transform all of the unprocessed trauma and unmetabolized grief of all of those that came before you. And in doing that, you change your life and the life of everybody that surrounds you. So let's treat it as the gift that it is.